Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from forexfornoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 1st of October 2019, and it's 10 a.m. here in the UK. You're looking at a Euro USD daily chart. We're going to go up to actually the gold daily chart and kick things off. So, I just want to double check that the stream is running because no one's saying anything. Yeah, it is. Cool. Where is everyone today? Am I starting at the wrong time? Oh, never mind. It was just lagging a bit. There are people here. The view count was lagging a bit. It said 0. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Hey, Colin. First off, gold. Now, my gold trade didn't really work out. It was going really nicely. Then Trump said something, and boom, it went down, and it's not recovered since then. Unfortunate. Got stopped down on that one. It happens. So that one is over. I still think gold is probably going to head up. Just not right now. Right, EURGBP. This is a trade I shared towards the end of last week. I think it might have been on Thursday last week I shared this trade. I know a few people are in this one. It's going quite well, so just hold on to this one. It's making its way towards target. Good morning, Watch and See, Philip and Ollie. Yeah, EURGBP, it's making its way towards target. It's looking quite good. Just hold on to the trade. I don't know why I have this green line here. I don't know what that's doing there. Yeah, it's getting close to the 2 target. And it's very close to the 1.5. So yeah, like I said, just hold on to this one's going well. EURGBPY, I know a few people entered this one. I don't think it was a great setup to enter because when I first pointed it out, it was based on this candle here. And then it was entered, then it dipped down to here. So it made a new low, which made the risk to reward ratio not great. But I know a few people entered, so I've got it marked as an ongoing trade. I mean, if you're in it, just hold on to it. It's not going well, but it's not going bad. It's just kind of going. So just hold on to it. GBPJPY, this is a potential long that I'm looking at. I just don't really like the risk to reward ratio on this one. But it looks kind of okay. It could trigger today. So I'm just watching it closely for an entry today. So it's basically a long trade from this support area here. Trading GBP at the moment is very risky because the Brexit stuff is heating up again. So I would say trade, if you're going to trade long here on GBPJPY, if it starts pushing up, I would say trade with a lot of caution because right now it's quite a risky trade. Just because at any moment news can come out about Brexit and it could cause a wild swing on GBP. So trade with great care if you're trading GBP. Now let's look for some new setups, see if there's anything else happening. So we got one new setup, GBPJPY, but let's look for some other new setups. I don't know why I have this here. Don't worry about this trade, guys. This is something I'm working on. I just forgot to mark it green, but I can't explain that one right now. Interesting. CADJPY is trending down. It's pushed up and it's hit this resistance area. I'm going to place a line here. I don't think that's a major support area, but it's definitely a minor one. It could also be a major one. I'll figure out the support area later. Actually, it does kind of look like a major support area. I need to fix the support resistance areas on this pair. They're a bit messy. Because that has quite a few bounces. Yeah, right. Okay. Not too sure about this one here, but doesn't really matter. Price isn't really there right now, so who cares about these lower ones? They're not that important. Right, so I just fixed support resistance areas a bit. There was one missing. This is not a pair I trade often, guys, so I was a bit lazy with updating support resistance areas for this one. But we are actually getting a setup here that might be worth looking into. So it's a potential short setup from this resistance area. We're getting price stalling out right now. Morning, George. Andre. McCarty. Yeah, so there is a potential here. Let's keep an eye on it, guys. Let's keep an eye on it. We'll go over it in a little bit more detail when we do the wrap up. EURGBP, guys, what am I doing with EURGBP? First of all, remember what I said about it being a risky, GBP being risky to trade right now? So remember that, but that being said, I'm looking for price to hit this resistance area here for a continuation down. I think there's good potential for a short in line with this. It's hard to call it a trend, but it's I guess it's the start of a trend. But I'm interested to see what happens when it hits this resistance area. It looks like it's heading back up there now. It looked like it was heading back up there on the 27th, but then on the 30th, on Monday/Sunday, when market opened, it dropped down. So now it's heading back up there. If it hits this resistance area, I will be looking for a short. So even though this one is far from being a setup, I'm going to mark it anyway. There we go, mark it. And we'll just see how it plays out. Nah, nothing in there. Euro USD, I'm in a short trade here, but this is just, this is a new type of setup I'm testing, guys. I can't really go into all the details here. I've explained this in the past, but for those of you who haven't seen my explanation yet, I'm going to explain it again. In 2007, so that's 12 years ago, market conditions in Forex changed dramatically. This was leading up to the financial crisis. Market conditions changed like crazy. So this was 2007. And around that time, breakout trading became very, very profitable. So breakout trading was trading breakouts from support resistance areas. So that basically means, let's say price is trending in a direction strongly. When it breaks through a support area or a resistance area, like it did in this case, you enter a short trade and then you trade the continuation of that trend. Now, there's a few rules that you have to keep in mind. Like, for example, I didn't really trade the break of this support. Well, I traded the break of this support area, but I didn't enter at the break of this support area. I entered at the break of this. And we talked about this a little bit last week, but I didn't go into too much detail. I traded the break of this. Didn't go into too much detail. I was planning on entering around about Friday, but that didn't really do what I wanted it to do. Eventually, it did what I wanted yesterday. So I entered this as one of the many tests I've been doing for breakout trading. Now, provided the tests go well, I'll be re-implementing breakout trading into my overall strategy. So like I said, 2007, market conditions changed. Breakout trading became a big thing. It was by far the most profitable setup I was trading at the time through 2007, 2008, 2009. Then around about 2009, 2010, I can't remember exactly, but around about that time, breakout trading kind of stopped being that profitable as market conditions changed again. So for the last 9 to 10 years, I haven't really traded breakouts. Now market conditions are shifting back to what they were all the way back then. They're not moving as much, but the way they're moving, so the direction and the way the trends are running, it really favors breakout trading, it seems. So I'm testing breakout trading. I'm in short on this, so I'll be keeping an eye on this position, and I'll be updating the strategy if I find that breakout trading is profitable. But so far so good, guys. Breakout trading is looking really, really good. It's making a comeback. Hopefully it lasts longer than just 2 or 3 years this time. Hopefully it makes the comeback. And if it does, hopefully it lasts longer than 2 or 3 years, because breakout trading tends to give you big risk to reward ratios. So you're able to make a pretty good return trading breakouts. This one's one of the riskier breakouts because we're headed into areas that we haven't seen since 2017. So I get a feeling that when it hits this low here, 1.0860, it's really going to struggle to continue down. But yeah, so far so good. Just in testing phase. I'll mark this green, but I'm just never sure about marking these as ongoing when I'm the only one in the trade. But whatever, I've marked it as ongoing, and okay. Yeah, so last time New Zealand USD was down here was 2009. Wow. There's a breakout trade here on New Zealand USD. Actually, no, I was wrong. Sorry. Last time was 2015. But it looks like it's about to break those 2015 lows. Alright, it's already broken one of the 2015 lows. It's headed towards the extreme low. Oops. I mean that. Jesus, it's so far back. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's nothing really. There's no setup that we normally trade here, but I'm gonna look for a breakout here. I know it's annoying, guys, when I say I'm looking for a setup that I haven't explained to you guys, but you just have to keep in mind that for almost 10 years, breakout trading was not viable. So for me to have included breakout, a form of trading that was completely not viable in the strategy videos in the course for 10 years, even though it wasn't really worth trading, for me to have included that, it would be absolutely pointless and a waste of your time to even watch the videos. It's taken me by complete surprise that breakout trading is becoming profitable again, because we're starting to see market conditions that we last saw in 2007 before the financial crisis. And there's a lot of talk about another financial crisis coming, a massive worldwide recession. So the markets are showing what they were showing pre-2008 financial crisis. So maybe that's why we're seeing similar market conditions coming back. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just theorizing here. But the point is, I couldn't really include these videos in the course for the last 10 years when they weren't really doing exactly what I wanted them to do. Or they weren't working the way I would have wanted them to work. Because there's about like a minimum threshold for how profitable something has to be for me to include it in the course. So it just wasn't really profitable, or not profitable enough. So yeah, sorry, I know it's a bit annoying, but I am going to be adding the videos shortly because all my testing has been really, really good lately. So I am going to be adding videos on this shortly. I'm going to mark this as a potential. I'm very curious to see what USDCHF does from here. I'll explain this one shortly when we do the wrap up, which is coming shortly. I'll explain that. I forgot to look at the news, by the way, guys. Sorry about that. We'll take a look at the news too in a second. Yeah, nothing really going on here. Let's take a quick look at the news. We already went over gold at the start of the webinar. The gold trade failed. It's dropping down quick. I still think it's probably going to head up to 1.6K eventually. But it looks like we're getting into a pretty big pullback right now. So yeah, there's no setup for me at the moment. Let's take a quick look at the news, guys. So what's coming up news-wise? Obviously today, this week is NFP week. So we've got NFP coming out on Friday, as it comes out the first Friday of every month. It's also called non-farm employment change. Its original name was non-farm payrolls. I don't think I'll ever start calling it non-farm employment change because, it was non-farm payrolls for like When did I start trading? 14. Never remember how long I've been trading. 16 years? Something like that. So for about 14 years, it was non-farm payrolls, and they changed it to non-farm employment change 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. So I'm just stuck with that non-farm payrolls name. So yeah, non-farm employment change / payrolls. That's the biggest report in the Forex market. It has the biggest impact of any report in the Forex market. Used to be way bigger, but these days it's calmed down a bit, but still pretty big impact. So be careful on Friday. Be very careful on Friday. Before that, we don't really have that much high impact stuff. Not that much high impact stuff. RBA Governor Lowe is speaking right now. So for any AUD positions, this could impact the market. Beyond that, we don't really have much. We've got some bank holidays for China. Shouldn't really impact us too much. We've got a German bank holiday, so maybe the euro is going to be a bit weird on Thursday, but I wouldn't really worry too much about this. Yeah, there's nothing that impactful. Nothing that impactful, guys. Except for obviously the non-farm payrolls. And after that, Fed Chairman Powell speaking. But I looked into this one, and this one shouldn't be that impactful either. He's just going to be doing opening remarks. So I wouldn't worry even too much about this one. The only thing that I think is going to move the market in a big way this week is non-farm employment change. But there is a lot of news this week, which is nice because it means we're probably going to see some movement in the market. Right, so let's do a quick summary. New Zealand USD, I'm just looking for a breakout here. GBPJPY, there's a potential long here on GBPJPY, so the entry would be around about the 133.30-ish. It's a slightly risky trade, guys, because the risk to reward ratio isn't great, and it is in an overall downtrend, so you'd be trading against the trend. Slightly risky trade, but it might be worth entering. It looks like we might be seeing the start of an uptrend, but it's definitely too early to call it a proper uptrend. But yeah, definitely worth keeping an eye on this one, guys. We got CADJPY, potential short trade here. Price stalling out on resistance. The resistance area has had several bounces in the past. So it looks like a pretty solid resistance area. Price is stalling out here. It's in line with the 200 moving average, which just gives it some extra resistance. So definitely look for a short here. Minimum target, as always, is 1.5, but try to target more than that. EURGBP, for this one, I'm just waiting for price to push up to this resistance area. It's not there yet, but when it pushes up to this resistance area, if it stalls, I'm looking for a continuation here. USDCHF, this one, it's at resistance right now. It looks like it's going to smash straight through this resistance area, but if it stops at this resistance area, I'll be looking for a short trade from here. So we don't know yet if it's going to stop because it's only just reached the resistance area today. So we just have to wait and see if it's going to stop. If it stops, then there's potential for a short. If it doesn't stop, if it breaks through, then perhaps it'll come back down eventually and there's potential for a long. But, you know, that's a long way off. The closest potential setup is if it stalls here. I'm just marking this one in case it stalls to keep an eye on it. But it's realistically, this probably won't be tradable until late Wednesday, to late Thursday. Just depends what time frame. If you were to go for it on the 12-hour, then maybe you'll get a setup, maybe even midday Wednesday. Maybe if this candle closes at 10 p.m. tonight as an indecision candle, then hey, it could even be morning Wednesday. But most likely scenario, if you're going for the daily, you're not going to get a setup here until Thursday. So just keep an eye on it. Looks like a good potential if price stalls here, but it's already showing signs of stalling, albeit on the lower time frame. So it was stalling for a bit as it approached, shot up quite fast, and then it stopped again. So we're just going to see if USD gets some strength and breaks through, or if USD starts weakening here. But anyway, guys, that's it for the setups today. There's a little bit happening, not a crazy amount. There's a few open setups. EURCHF, hold on to that one. EURGBP, hold on to that one. CADJPY, don't worry about this one. This one's just for me. And EURUSD, don't worry about this one. Are there any questions, guys? All right, doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's members-only analysis, which starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow.